A storm is coming to Heartland, and this time, it isn't just about the horses, the ranch, or the land, it's about the very heart of the Fleming Borden family. Secrets long buried are ready to surface, and choices once avoided will finally demand answers. Season 19 of Heartland promises not just change, but the kind of change that shakes everything to its very core. Fans who thought they knew the future of Heartland may soon realize that nothing is as secure, and no bond is as unbreakable as it once seemed. Heartland has always been a show about family, love, and the quiet strength it takes to endure life's toughest challenges. But in Season 19, the peaceful rhythm of ranch life is about to be disrupted in ways no one saw coming. The writers are laying the groundwork for one of the most emotionally powerful chapters in the series, one that will test loyalties, stir rivalries, and push the family closer to the edge than ever before. The center of it all, of course, is Amy Fleming. She has always been the emotional anchor of the show, carrying the weight of loss, responsibility, and unshakable hope. After Ty's death, viewers watched her rebuild her life piece by piece, learning to find joy again through her daughter Lindy and her work with horses. But Season 19 will not let Amy stay in the comfort zone she has fought so hard to create. This is the season where her resilience is tested in ways that force her to face one haunting question: is she truly ready to move forward, or has she been holding herself back from living fully? The winds of change arrive in subtle ways at first. Small conflicts around the ranch hint at bigger storms to come. The land itself seems restless, new challenges with the horses, shifting weather patterns, and the encroaching pressure of outside forces on the Heartland ranch. It is as if the world beyond their borders refuses to let them live untouched by the chaos of change. And Amy, though strong, feels the pull of a destiny she didn't ask for, but one she can no longer ignore. What makes this shift so powerful is that it isn't just about Amy. Lou, now deeply rooted in her leadership roles, will find herself torn between the demands of her career and the obligations of her family. Her choices will ripple outward, forcing her to confront truths about what it really means to lead, not just in the business world, but at home, where every decision leaves a mark. Jack, the steady rock of the family, may discover that even the strongest foundations can crack under the weight of time and secrets unspoken. And Tim, ever unpredictable, could find himself face to face with the ghosts of his past, forcing him to make choices that could either redeem him or shatter his family ties forever. But the most gripping element of all is that Heartland is no longer just about holding on, it's about transformation. Change will not be optional in Season 19. The ranch will face threats that challenge its very survival, and the family will face moments where unity will be the only thing that keeps them from breaking apart. And yet, even within this storm, moments of love, hope, and courage will shine brighter than ever, reminding fans why Heartland continues to touch lives across generations. As the opening beats of the season unfold, viewers will quickly realize this isn't the same Heartland they left behind. The tone is heavier, the stakes are higher, and the characters are standing at the edge of decisions that could alter their lives forever. Nothing is guaranteed anymore, not love, not security, not even the future of the Heartland Ranch itself. And that is what makes Season 19 the most unpredictable and emotionally gripping chapter yet. Every family has its secrets, and in Heartland Season 19, those hidden truths begin to rise to the surface, threatening to fracture the bond that has held the Flemings and Bordens together for generations. What has always made Heartland powerful isn't just the beauty of its horses or the serenity of Alberta's open skies, it's the way the show takes ordinary struggles and magnifies them into something universal. And in this new season, those struggles take on a darker, more intense form. Amy may be the soul of Heartland, but she isn't invincible. For years, her gift with horses has been a way to heal herself as much as it has been about helping others. Yet in Season 19, Amy faces situations where even her extraordinary connection to animals cannot provide easy answers. There will be moments where her confidence falters, where doubt begins to creep in, and where she must decide whether she can truly step into a new chapter of her life. Fans who have watched her endure loss will now see her stand at the edge of something even scarier, the possibility of opening her heart again, not just to love, but to change itself. Meanwhile, Lou finds herself caught in a whirlwind of responsibility. Running her businesses, holding a position of leadership, and trying to balance her role as a mother and daughter has always been difficult, but Season 19 will push her further than ever. She will face decisions that pit her professional ambitions against the needs of her family. And for the first time in a long time, Lou may find herself wondering whether she has stretched herself too thin. Her role as a leader might bring her face to face with rivals who don't share her values, and the consequences of her choices could spill over into the ranch, forcing everyone else to deal with the fallout. Tim, on the other hand, remains the unpredictable force at the heart of the family. Over the years, fans have seen him battle with his demons, seek redemption, and try, often imperfectly, to mend his fractured relationships. But in Season 19, the past refuses to stay buried. An old mistake or unresolved conflict may resurface, pulling him into a storm he can't simply outrun. His journey could very well be one of the most dramatic arcs of the season, with the potential to either destroy his fragile peace or finally bring him the closure he has always needed. The tension lies in not knowing which direction he will choose, and whether the rest of the family will stand by him if he falters. And then there is Jack. The patriarch, the rock, the one who always seems to hold Heartland together. For years, Jack's wisdom and steady presence have been the anchor when everything else seemed to fall apart. But even rocks crack under pressure. Season May 19th test Jack in ways fans have never seen before, through unexpected challenges that shake his confidence and force him to question his role in the family he has protected for so long. If Jack falters, even for a moment, the ripple effect could be devastating, yet perhaps the most intriguing element of this season lies not in the familiar characters but in the newcomers. Their arrival at Heartland is no coincidence. Some come with fresh energy, offering opportunities for growth, partnerships, or even romance. But others carry shadows, motives that may not be as pure as they seem. These new faces will stir up conflict, challenge the values of the Heartland family, and force everyone to reevaluate who they can truly trust. Because sometimes the greatest threats aren't storms or wild horses, they're people who walk through the front gate with a smile that hides their true intentions. This is where the cracks beneath the surface begin to widen. What seems stable at first glance begins to show signs of weakness. The land itself may be at risk from forces beyond the family's control, economic challenges, environmental shifts, or even outside interests that see Heartland not as a home but as a business opportunity. Each challenge builds on the next, weaving a web of tension that leaves viewers wondering, will the family fight harder than ever to hold on, or will the weight of so many struggles finally push them apart? The brilliance of Heartland has always been its ability to blend the personal with the universal, to show how one family's story can reflect the struggles of so many others. Season 19 takes this to new heights. It asks questions that don't come with easy answers. How much can one family endure before they break? Can love and loyalty truly withstand betrayal, ambition, and the relentless march of time? And most of all, what happens when the heart of Heartland itself is threatened, not by forces outside, but by the very people who call it home? By the time Season 19 gathers momentum, the cracks beneath the surface will no longer be small enough to hide. They grow wider, harder to ignore, and far more dangerous than anyone in the family first imagined. What makes this season stand out is the way personal struggles, family secrets, and outside threats all collide at once, leaving the Heartland Ranch standing on unstable ground. For Amy, this instability cuts deep. She has always been the one to restore balance, the one who steps in when things feel broken, whether it's a horse in pain or a loved one struggling to find their way. But in Season 19, Amy may discover that some problems cannot be solved with compassion alone. For the first time, she may face situations where her natural gift isn't enough, and she must choose between following her heart or protecting her family's future. Her journey is no longer just about healing, it's about survival, and the choices she makes could define the next chapter of her life. By the time Season 19 gathers momentum, the cracks beneath the surface will no longer be small enough to hide. They grow wider, harder to ignore, and far more dangerous than anyone in the family first imagined. What makes this season stand out is the way personal struggles, family secrets, and outside threats all collide at once, leaving the Heartland Ranch standing on unstable ground. For Amy, this instability cuts deep. She has always been the one to restore balance, the one who steps in when things feel broken, whether it's a horse in pain or a loved one struggling to find their way. But in Season 19, Amy may discover that some problems cannot be solved with compassion alone. For the first time, she may face situations where her natural gift isn't enough, and she must choose between following her heart or protecting her family's future. Her journey is no longer just about healing, it's about survival, and the choices she makes could define the next chapter of her life. The uncertainty surrounding Amy's personal life only adds more tension. For years, fans have wondered if she would ever allow herself to love again. In Season 19, that question refuses to stay in the background. Every interaction, every decision, and every moment of vulnerability brings her closer to confronting it. Will she risk her heart, knowing how fragile it once was, or will she retreat into the safety of work and motherhood? This emotional tug-of-war will be one of the most gripping parts of the season, and the consequences will affect not just Amy, but Lindy, and everyone who has stood by her side. Meanwhile, Lou's path will collide head-on with the harsh realities of leadership. She has always fought to prove herself capable, balancing her ambition with her devotion to family. But the higher she climbs, the greater the risks become. New adversaries may emerge, people who do not share her values and who are willing to do whatever it takes to win. If Lu chooses to fight back, she could find herself pulled into battles that not only test her patience but threaten the delicate balance she's worked so hard to maintain between her career and her family. And if she falters, the fallout won't just be hers to carry, it could affect Heartland itself. Tim's story, as always, carries an unpredictable weight. He has been many things: a father struggling to connect, a man haunted by mistakes, and a restless spirit always searching for peace. But season May 19th place him at a crossroads unlike any he has faced before. A mistake from his past could resurface, one that forces him to confront truths he would rather keep buried. Will he rise above and redeem himself, or will he spiral into the same destructive patterns that nearly cost him everything before? The suspense lies in knowing that either outcome is possible, and that the choice may not be entirely his to make. Then there's Jack. Strong, dependable Jack, who has carried the family on his shoulders for as long as fans can remember. But even the strongest foundation begins to show strain under the weight of time. Season May 19th challenged Jack's role as the guiding force of Heartland. What happens when the family's anchor begins to question himself? How will the others stand tall if Jack himself wavers? His journey could be one of the most emotional of the season, reminding viewers that even heroes can feel the cracks of time pressing down on them, and while the family wrestles with their own struggles, outside forces are moving closer. New characters, some friendly, some dangerous, bring complications that cannot be ignored. A charming new face may stir unexpected emotions, while another may arrive with intentions that threaten the ranch itself. These outsiders are not just passing visitors, they are catalysts. They will test loyalties, stir conflicts, and force everyone to see Heartland in a new light. Some will be welcomed, while others may leave scars that cannot easily be healed, but perhaps the most powerful thread running through season 19 is the looming question of legacy. What will become of Heartland if the family cannot hold together? The ranch has always symbolized home, safety, and continuity. Yet now, that legacy feels fragile. The pressures of the modern world, the emotional battles within the family, and the uncertainty of the future all hang like storm clouds over Heartland. The very idea of what Heartland means may be up for debate. Is it simply a piece of land? Or is it the bond between the people who call it home? And if that bond breaks, can Heartland truly survive? Season 19 doesn't offer easy answers. Instead, it dares to ask the hard questions fans have avoided for years. How far can love stretch before it snaps? How many secrets can a family bury before they erupt? And what happens when the ranch that has always been their sanctuary becomes the battlefield, where everything they hold dear is at stake? By the time Heartland Season 19 reaches its middle stretch, the storylines that once seemed like small sparks ignite into raging fires. This is the point where choices can no longer be delayed, and secrets can no longer be buried. The family stands at the brink of change, and every decision feels like it could either hold them together or finally break them apart. For Amy, the turning point comes in the form of a personal challenge she cannot avoid. Her bond with horses has always guided her through pain and pointed her toward healing, but this season dares to ask what happens when the very gift she relies on becomes a source of conflict. A horse unlike any she has worked with before may push her skills to the edge, mirroring the struggles in her own life. Through this trial, Amy is forced to confront the truth about herself. Is she still hiding behind her work to avoid the deeper wounds in her heart? Or is she finally ready to risk everything by stepping into the unknown? Her decision will set in motion events that touch every corner of Heartland. At Lu's turning point arrives with a clash of loyalty versus ambition. For years, she has believed she could balance it all: the business, the leadership, and her family. But in Season 19, she faces an ultimatum that makes her realize she cannot have everything without sacrificing something precious. Whether it's a new business deal that threatens Heartland's independence, or an outside partnership that carries risks far greater than she admits, Lu finds herself in a dangerous position. If she pushes forward, she could secure her place as a leader. But if she chooses wrong, the ranch and the family's legacy may pay the ultimate price. Tim's path toward a turning point is even darker. He has always carried the weight of mistakes, and now, the shadows of his past refuse to stay silent. Perhaps an old rival returns, or a past decision resurfaces, demanding consequences. Whatever the trigger, Tim finds himself staring down the possibility of losing everything he has worked to rebuild. The suspense lies in not knowing whether he will repeat old patterns of recklessness or rise above them. His journey becomes a mirror for redemption versus destruction, and the entire family will feel the shockwaves of whichever path he takes. Jack, however, may be the one who breaks hearts the most. The man who has always been unshakable begins to show signs of strain, not just physically but emotionally. Season 19 challenges Jack to face his own vulnerability. The ranch that has been his life's work now feels more fragile than ever, and his role as the family's protector grows heavier with each passing day. When Jack falters, the others are forced to step up in ways they never imagined, testing whether the values he instilled in them are strong enough to carry on without him. Always leading the way. For viewers, watching Jack wrestle with his mortality and his fears will be one of the most emotional experiences of the season, and then there are the newcomers, the unpredictable forces weaving themselves into the fabric of Heartland. By now, their presence is no longer just background noise. It becomes clear that some of them are here to stay, and not all of them come with pure intentions. A new character may bring temptation, another may stir jealousy or rivalry, and one may quietly plant seeds of conflict that threaten to divide the family from within. Heartland has always thrived on trust, but in Season 19, that trust will be tested more than ever before. Can the family tell friend from foe before it's too late? Or will misplaced loyalty cost them dearly? The land itself also becomes part of the turning point. For the first time in years, the ranch feels like it is slipping from their hands. Economic pressures, environmental challenges, or even outside investors circling with hidden agendas threaten to transform Heartland into something unrecognizable. It is not simply a fight to protect a piece of property, it is a fight to preserve a legacy. Every member of the family must ask themselves what Heartland truly means, and how far they are willing to go to protect it. This is where the season truly earns its title as the one that will shake everything to its core. The family is pushed into corners where compromise is impossible. Amy must decide whether to risk her heart. Lou must choose between ambition and loyalty. Tim must confront the man he has always been versus the man he wants to become. And Jack must face the hardest truth of all, that he cannot carry the weight of the ranch forever. These choices are no longer just personal, they intertwine, building toward conflicts that could shatter the bonds holding them together. The suspense lies not in knowing that change is coming, but in realizing that once it arrives, nothing will ever be the same again. Season 19 is the storm fans have waited for, a chapter where the quiet rhythms of ranch life collide with the unpredictable force of destiny. And as the turning point settles over Heartland, viewers are left with one haunting question: when the dust clears, will the family still stand as one, or will the core of Heartland finally break apart? As Heartland Season 19 races toward its climax, the story no longer whispers about change, it roars. Every character, every choice, and every hidden truth collides in a storm that shakes the family to its very core. The comfortable life the Flemings and Bordens once knew is gone, replaced by a battle for survival, love, and legacy. What once felt secure now teeters on the edge of collapse. Amy's journey takes center stage in the final stretch. For years, she has carried the weight of loss, healing others while quietly keeping her own wounds guarded. But the season dares her to face the one decision she has always avoided. Will she protect her heart and cling to the safety of routine, or will she step forward into the frightening possibility of a new future? If Amy chooses to open herself to love again, the consequences could ripple through every relationship she has, Lindy, her family, and even the ranch itself. But if she turns away from it, she risks living half a life, defined by what was lost rather than what could be gained. Her decision in these final episodes becomes the emotional heartbeat of the season, carrying with it all the suspense and longing fans have waited to see answered. Lou, meanwhile, faces the fallout of her ambition. The choices she made earlier in the season, choices she believed would strengthen both her career and her family's future, now threaten to unravel everything. The truth about her alliances and decisions may come crashing into the open, forcing her to defend herself not just in the public eye, but at home. For the first time, Lou risks losing the trust of the very people she has always fought to protect. The suspense lies in whether her intentions will be enough to save her from the consequences, or whether her missteps will create fractures in the family that cannot be easily healed. The Tim's turning point, too, reaches its boiling point. His demons, once lurking in the shadows, finally step into the light. Whatever mistake or unresolved conflict haunted him earlier in the season now demands a reckoning. This may be the fight of his life, one last chance to prove that he has truly changed, that he can be the man his family needs him to be. But redemption is never guaranteed, and the haunting possibility remains that his past may cost him everything. Viewers will watch with clenched hearts as Tim stands at this crossroads, knowing that his choice could either strengthen the family or tear it apart. And then there is Jack. The patriarch who has always been the rock of Heartland now faces his most vulnerable moment. Whether it is his health, the crushing weight of responsibility, or the realization that time does not wait for anyone, Jack is forced to confront his limits. Watching him wrestle with his mortality, his fears, and his hope for the family's future will leave fans in tears. Will he pass the torch with strength, ensuring that the next generation can carry on the legacy? Or will the cracks in the family widen under the pressure of his absence? Jack's storyline becomes a poignant reminder that even the strongest must eventually let go. The newcomers who entered Heartland this season also reveal their true roles. Some become unexpected